Hello and welcome to Iceland. And if you're already here, you should know it by now, just as well as me, that it ain't so cheap to live around here. So today's tourist tip is all about Iceland's strangest and cheapest food secret, like where to get the traditional Icelandic plokkfiskur or fish stew for 1/3 of what it would cost elsewhere. And the same price goes for our fish and the lamb and much more. So how come that this place isn't just all over the travel vlogs and such, since after all it's a food price that most tourists complain about. So let's start this trip over this lava field that stretches through the metropolitan area, and down there we find the IKEA supermarket. And when it opened, they decided to use very aggressive pricing strategy, aiming to profit from volume and of course drive traffic into the store. But in order to do so, you can't just offer cheap food. They need quality as well as good price. And as a result, the IKEA restaurant is one of Iceland's most popular restaurants. Although we can't call this fine dining as such, but this is, however, very fine dining. And I've been a regular guest there for years, for the simple reason that they serve what we call normal food. Food that we know from home. But good food first and foremost. And the quality is very consistent. And in fact, they have 3 places in the building where you can find yourself a cheap meal. The main restaurant is on the upper floor, and beside it is a cafeteria with the same pricing strategy. They have their own bakery downstairs and a small grocery store as well. So it's also a fine place to grab something for the road. And beside the bakery, we find a small bistro that sells hot dogs, ice cream and such. So to give you an idea about the pricing, I'm going to start with the standard hot dog, or Iceland's fast food number 1. It costs 600 krónur in Iceland's most famous hot dog place, but here it's 195. And a hot dog with soda is 295, but if you use a roadside shop in Iceland, just the soda will cost you around 340. So this is the cheapest meal in Iceland, but hot dog is just a hot dog. So let's take a look at the main menu. And to put the prices into perspective, the cheapest burger meal in Iceland would be around 1400, best case scenario, but usually it's around or over 2000. And overall, to find fast food under 2000 krónur in Iceland is not the simplest thing. And when it comes to regular food, it's even harder. But Asian food would be the cheapest option. But it's not always cheap. So let's compare that to the IKEA menu. They always have 2 dishes that change every month or so. Like now in July 2022, they offer lamb steak for 1295. And that's the highest price you will find there. But they have also this standard menu that rarely changes, even cheaper. It includes, of course, the Swedish meatballs, salmon, and the traditional Icelandic plokkfiskur. But it's hard to find a more Icelandic dish than that. And, in fact, one of the reasons why I made this video. The good old Icelandic food is often hard to find. And when we find it, it has often been spiced up or made more modern. But then it's not the old food. So not only can this be a big money saver, you can also find something on the menu that pretty much reflects the normal, everyday Icelandic dish, or something that tourists don't always find so easily. So you will see all kinds of people there, the whole spectrum, but very few tourists though. So it tends to be busy, but they are also known for efficiency. So even when this is what awaits me, it's usually just going to be a matter of minutes before I get served. The cafeteria has a similar pricing strategy, perhaps not as aggressive as the restaurant, but always way cheaper than the rest of the market. But on the downside, you will have to walk the longer way out or through a part of the department store, since the IKEA people know that you might do some impulse buying on the way out. But the downstairs bistro and bakery is just by the door. And IKEA isn't located near downtown Reykjavik, and it's not in this tourist-friendly neighborhood as for shopping and such, but it's easy to get there. Costco is, however, next door, and there you can get the cheapest petrol in Iceland if you have a Costco membership card. but if you don't, there is a petrol station nearby that follows them in prices, and I'm leaving a link to the petrol price in Iceland, but it's awful, so many Icelanders are traveling abroad this summer. It has never been as expensive to travel around Iceland as now, but there are always some ways to keep the cost down without compromising on quality, and IKEA is one of them. And I would be very grateful for your own tips in the comment section, and I might use them to make another video about fairly priced places worth mentioning. And finally, I'm reminding you about my town visit videos, where I'm little by little creating information videos about all towns and villages in my home country, so you can visit them with me online for free, or use the information and footage to plan your own perfect trip to my home country, Iceland.